We don't know each other, but speaking on behalf of millions of American parents, I have 4 at home. I had to teach them at home. My wife had to teach them at home. I am stunned at what you have said this week about your claiming to have wanted to reopen schools. I think you'll find that most parents believe you were the tip of the spear of school closures. There are numerous statements you made over the summer of 20 scaring people to death about the possibility of opening schools. And I hear no remorse whatsoever about the generational damage that's been done to these kids. I have 2 kids with learning differences. Do you know how hard it is for them to learn at home and not in a classroom that was designed for them? And for you to sit in front of Congress and the American people and say, oh, I wanted to open them the whole time. I am shocked. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. And there are millions of parents who feel the exact same way.
Okay. You are the community to this president's chaos. And together we build a future of opportunity and justice for all. Hope over fear, aspiration over anger, the promise of America for each and every American. That is what we are fighting for today.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the downfall of the modern day Democrat Party. Something that should be studied in political textbooks because it is really the best reality television show on cable news. Okay, and I know we've taken a break from covering the reality show, or put it this way, the mainstream liberal media has, because they want to talk about Trump and Trump derangement 24/7. But that doesn't mean that the Democrat Party still isn't in free fall, okay? Because they are the party of weirdos, freaks, low testosterone men, and high calorie women. And I gotta tell you guys, the low testosterone men of the Democrat Party, I think, are the main reason for the downfall of the party. Because every time you look, some man in the Democrat Party is crying about something, right? They're boo-hoo-ing and crying in tears, okay? This time, Zoran Mandami, who is a full-blown socialist, I think he represents the future of the Democrat Party, where they're trying to go. And again, unsurprisingly, this guy who, for whatever reason, is surprisingly competitive in the Democrat primary to become the mayor of New York City, he got caught in tears, right? Another campaign stunt that is becoming all too common amongst Democrat Party men, for them to cry. Take a look.
I get messages that say the only good Muslim is a dead Muslim. I get threats on my life. On the people that I love. And I try not to talk about it. Because the function of racism, as Toni Morrison said, is distraction. My focus has always been on making this a city that's affordable, on making this a city that every New Yorker sees themselves in. And it takes a toll, because this is a city that every single person deserves to be in. It's a city that we all belong to. And the thing that's made me proudest in this campaign is that the strength of our movement is built on our ability to have built something across Jewish and Muslim New Yorkers, across New Yorkers of all faiths and all backgrounds and all boroughs. And anti-Semitism is such a real issue in this city. And it has been hard to see it weaponized by candidates who do not seem to have any sincere interest in tackling it, but rather in using it as a pretext to make political points. And that's what I've tried to share.
Thank you so much. Do you have a final question?
Yeah, so once again, we have another grown-ass man that happens to be a Democrat, boo-hoo whining and crying for votes, right? I mean, this guy is crying because people say mean things to him, right? And it was like, well, if you can't handle people saying mean things to you, why did you sign up to be a politician, right? I mean, if you can't handle people saying mean things, you probably shouldn't be a politician, okay? I'm not sure what he thought he was accomplishing with those tears, right? That he tried really hard to muster up, but I don't think that this is going to appeal to men, okay? Remember, the Democrats, they spent $20 million studying how to talk to men, right? And I think what they came up with is that, hey, you need to cry, right? Let's cry more, right? Which kind of tells you the type of men that the Democrats are trying to appeal to, okay? They're trying to appeal to men of low testosterone levels, men with higher estrogen levels that tend to cry, right? Cry when mean things are said to them. So, yeah, I mean, that's not the only way they're trying to appeal to men. They're also trying to appeal to men with desperate ads where they're basically fear-mongering about Republicans and the Trump administration deporting their Latina girlfriends. No, I'm not kidding. Democrats, or put it this way, Democrats supporting PACs, right, organizations, are putting out ads where they're fear-mongering about Latina girlfriends being deported. Take a look.
I had a really good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really look.
What are you doing?
She's coming with us.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals.
She was born here. She's a citizen.
I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
Yeah, so Democrats have really lost the plot, right? I mean, they're so clueless because, I mean, if you're going to make a political ad fear-mongering about some random dude's Latina girlfriend being deported, at least make it a thick Latina, right? I mean, I'm talking about THICC, okay? They could have got me, right? They could have got me had they been aware enough to make the Latina thick, right? I mean, they got a pencil Latina, right? A real skinny one. I'm like, you know, that ain't really gonna get me, right? If you really want to get me, okay, make an ad with them deporting a thick one, right? I mean, that might actually tug at my heartstrings, right? Even though I have closed my heart, right? I've closed my heart to the thick Latinos being deported, right? I have basically told myself that no matter how many thick Latinos get deported, I am not going to shed any tears, right? I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be upset about it. Even though I can make an argument that, who knows, maybe these are the ones we should keep, right? Because for as much as they want to talk about deporting slave labor and how that contributes to inflation, we haven't seen that yet, okay? However, deporting the thick Latinos might contribute to hoflation. Because I think that they were giving some of these American women a run for their money. Because that's definitely a sector of the economy we do not talk about enough. Hoflation has gotten out of control, okay? Women in this country are more expensive than ever, right? I've never seen women more expensive than they are in 2025, okay? And who knows? We got a supply-demand problem. So I'm just saying.
Big booty Latinas can stay. Protect big booty Latinas.
Man, what's up with that? Don't come over here disrespecting our women.
Well, I'm trying to protect them. I don't want them to get deported.
Fucking racist asshole.
How is that racist? I want big booty Latinas.
You know, I could make an argument that maybe we should keep those, but again, I have closed my heart. You can't get me with any Latinas, right? And the fact that they didn't use a thick one in this ad, just again, it shows you just how out of touch they are, right? They're so out of touch. Because they don't even understand the basics, right? They don't even understand the basics when it comes to their propaganda. So, again, all jokes aside, right? The Democrat Party is clueless, right? They're on the verge of collapse because now you have leadership leaving, right? You have the teachers union boss, Randy Weingartner, and others. They basically now quit the DNC. They quit the DNC over the drama that is happening under their new leader, Ken Martin, which again is a big deal because she represents a major constituency of the Democrat Party, which again are the teachers.
Dems are in disarray again. You hate to see it. A major shakeup at the DNC this morning. Two major union leaders have quit.
Randy Weingarten, leader of the American Federation of Teachers, and Lee Saunders, the president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, have both left the committee.
Weingarten, who leads a union of 1.8 million members, said in her resignation letter, quote, "While I am proud to be a Democrat, I appear to be out of step with the leadership you are forging, and I do not want to be the one who keeps questioning why we are not enlarging our tent and actively trying to engage more and more of our communities."
Saunders, on the other hand, declined his nomination to the DNC. He told the New York Times in a statement, quote, "These are new times. They demand new strategies, new thinking, and a renewed way of fighting for the values we hold dear. We must evolve to meet the urgency of this moment." He continued, quote, "This is not a time to close ranks or turn inward. The values we stand for and the issues we fight for benefit all working people. It is our responsibility to open the gates, welcome others in, and build the future we all deserve together."
So this is happening amidst the David Hogg drama. Right. David Hogg, after being ousted as DNC vice chair because the election was deemed to be unfair to that lady who is running. It was not sufficiently DEI.
They wanted a
engaged.
wide-ranging perspective.
And somehow that just doesn't include young men, even though that's the perspective that the DNC is struggling with right now. So he's out, and he said he's had enough abuse, doesn't want to seek that position again. I suspect that Randi Weingarten, who is not someone I especially love very much, she's the leader of the teachers union. She is more responsible than anyone else for having schools remain as closed for as long as they were during COVID, which is a policy I think was disastrous for Democrats. So I really have no love for her. However, I think she's annoyed at Ken Martin, and so are many people.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? Full-blown collapse of the Democrat Party, okay? And it gets worse. It gets worse because not only is leadership quitting, right? They're leaving. We all know about the David Hogg situation, right? How they kicked him out over the sexist election, right? They basically overthrew their election because some woman claimed that the election was sexist, right? So they overthrew David Hogg, got him out, right? Because, again, this is the party of democracy, right? They just overthrow their election results, right? You have the union bosses also quitting the Democrat Party. Again, they have major constituencies. This is a big, big, big deal, okay? But it gets worse. Democrats are also running out of cash. They're going broke, right? They're going bankrupt under new leadership. So let's read about this because, again, this is a full-blown collapse, not just when it comes to leadership, but also financial collapse of the Democrat Party. You can't make this stuff up. Just months into the tenure of a new party leader, Ken Martin, the Democratic National Committee's financial situation has grown so bleak that top officials have discussed whether they might need to borrow money this year to keep paying the bills. Yeah, so basically, Democrats have to go into debt. They got to get a loan in order to keep the lights on. They have nothing. They have zero cash. They have nothing. Okay, now again, this comes as they're fear-mongering about Trump. Trump, Hitler, right? The world is ending. No kings, right? All of these protests, all of this anti-Trump stuff, and none of the money is going to the Democrat Party. None of the money is going to the Democrat Party. The approval rating is still almost in the single digits. So again, it really shows you how much of a disaster this is, right? Their voters may be mobilized against Trump, but they're not mobilized for the Democrats. That is a big problem, a huge problem. But this is what happens when your party doesn't stand for a damn thing except being against Trump. Being against Trump, the way that Democrats have essentially branded themselves, is really the downfall of their party, right? And we're seeing it play out here. Fundraising from major donors, some of whom Mr. Martin has still not spoken with, has slowed sharply. At the same time, he has expanded the party's financial commitments to every state and even to far-flung territories like Guam. Why the hell is the Democrat Party sending money to Guam, right? I'm trying to figure out how that helps the Democrat Party. This guy is just throwing money everywhere, okay? Fellow Democrats are grumbling that Mr. Martin, who quietly accepted a raise after taking the post, has been badly distracted by internal battles. So far, they say he has been unable to help unite his party against Republicans who control the federal government. Yeah, so this guy took a raise when he got into office, right? And he hasn't even executed yet, right? He hasn't shown that he can deliver the goods, but he gave himself a raise. Again, this is the modern day Democrat Party, right? No execution whatsoever, but this guy thinks, well, I should get paid more, while the DNC is on the verge of bankruptcy. You can't make this stuff up. A protracted and public fight with David Hogg, the 25-year-old activist turned DNC vice chair, who blindsided party officials with a plan to challenge incumbent Democrats, made things worse. The clash included the leak of embarrassing audio of Mr. Martin questioning his own role and ended in Mr. Hogg's unceremonious exit this month. That was soon followed by the news that two of the country's most influential labor leaders, who represent a combined 3.2 million workers, were also leaving the DNC. Both questioned the party's direction under Mr. Martin. Yeah, so again, this party is basically collapsing under this guy's leadership, right? 3.2 million workers. Yeah, that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. Again, the backbone of the Democrat Party are basically these labor unions. And when you have that leadership leaving, yeah, that's not good, right? That's not good at all. Even though I don't think Randi Weingarten is somebody that Democrats should be in bed with, right? Considering how she is responsible for shutting down the country. Okay, she's responsible for the learning loss that occurred amongst our children, while our children have gotten dumber since the pandemic. But still, at the same time, this is the Democrat coalition that, again, is the backbone of the party. Yeah, they're going, right? They're falling apart. Rufus Guilford, who served as the finance chairman of Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign and maintains relationships with many top donors, suggested Democrats were being sent the wrong message at a time when they are desperately looking for fight and leadership. Quote, what they're seeing is headline after headline of incompetence and infighting. And I think that is a real problem, not just for the DNC, but for the larger Democratic brand. He said, we need to come together and focus on the issues at hand. That's got to happen now. And I mean today. And if that can't happen, we need to shift course. Yeah. So again, basically what they're saying is that the Democrat Party is so chaotic, right? There's so much infighting that donors are saying, nah, we're good, right? We don't really want to donate to this chaos, right? Until you guys get it together, right? Until you get it together, we do not want to donate, okay? So let's read more here. Senior DNC officials have discussed the possibility of borrowing money in the coming months to keep the operations fully funded, according to two people with direct knowledge of the private discussions who insisted on anonymity. Mr. Martin acknowledged those talks. Quote, that's certainly not our plan right now, he said, of tapping into a line of credit, adding, I don't know if we'll have to at this point. He noted that grassroots fundraising had remained strong, and the party said small donations in the first 3 months were the most under a new chairman. Still, the party's total cash reserves shrank by $4 million from January through April, according to the most recent federal records, while the Republican National Committee's coffers swell by roughly $29 million. A new report is due this week. Yeah, so it sounds like Democrats have a spending problem, which should not be a surprise because, I mean, look at what happened in Kamala's campaign, right? She spent billions, right? Billions of dollars, giving it to Roland Martin, Al Sharpton, Oprah, you know, all of these things that she spent money on that had a not so positive return on investment. So again, I'm not surprised to see news that the Democrat Party is financially struggling. The party out of power often falls behind the one holding the White House. Still, the current financial gap is large, $18 million on hand for the DNC entering May compared to $67.4 million for the RNC. Hefty chunks sit in special accounts that cannot be used for operational cost. In the first 4 months of the year, only 3 people gave $100,000 or more to the DNC, according to the Federal Election Commission reports. The party said it had received 3 more 6-figure donations in May and June from individuals. Yeah, I wonder who those people are, because those people are just setting money on fire, right? They clearly don't care about their money, right? If you're giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to the DNC, which is a dumpster fire at this point, right? And that's essentially what we're saying, right? Democrats have no direction whatsoever from top to bottom, right? The people on the ground are just Trump deranged idiots, right? I mean, they're just extremists, okay? They're committing domestic terrorism. Democrat lawmakers don't know anything but hating Trump. And then you have the leadership at the DNC, right? The people that are supposed to be running the operation. They're too busy infighting, right? They're infighting. They don't know how to manage cash, right? And it's just overall a complete and total disaster. Just a complete and total disaster. But hey, I'm not surprised, okay? This is just another episode of as the Democrat Party turns, right? And yeah, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.